Hello. I want to take a minute to talk about an expansion of an existing feature that we did some work on in version 4.38, which is our March 2022 release. Specifically, we're going to talk about the mass component maintenance functionality. This is the ability to replace one raw material with another raw material for one or more formulas. This feature has been around for a while, and what we've added is more control over selecting which formulas is affected. So in this case, I've already got a raw material that I am going to be replacing with another raw material, in this case original component to new component. This functionality has been here for a long time. The new part of this functionality has to do with identifying which formulas are going to be impacted. If you don't make any changes and don't make any filtering, and you just simply said go process, it would it would actually do this for all these formulas. We have a number of clients that actually only want to affect, say, certain versions of formulas or certain types of formulas, maybe class or things like that, and wanted to be able to filter that and be able to get this to a smaller list and then only affect those particular formulas. So we basically kept the basic model that we had, and that is identify here are the items that are going to change, and then when you say refresh, it goes and finds all formulas that has that original component in it, and then replace it with the new component with, you know, potentially more or less of the new raw material, etc. So what we added was this filter bar, this ability for you to be able to come in and say, I only want to see certain values in a certain field, or multiple values in different fields. In this case, I'm going to use an example of the class ID. I only want to affect my formulas that have a class ID of paint, just as an example. And what you're going to find is that as soon as I start typing, I get that filter that I want. So anything with a class ID that starts with PA, for example, has now done what I needed it to do. I can now see those are my paint formulas that I want to affect, and what I can do is come in and tell the system that I want to remove let me rephrase that. When I've got all these formulas identified that are in the paint category, if I process, it'll change all formulas. So, but it won't do the ones that don't have the class ID of paint. So only the ones showing here on the screen will get affected. And that's true of how we did it before. It used to be that you had to go and delete each one of these formulas out of a list, and we didn't have a filtering capability. So adding the filtering is one part of our ability. The other thing we added is this remove box. I think it just makes it a little easier to identify which formulas you want to remove from this list. In other words, they won't be replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and pick 2 of them as an example, and when I then do my delete selection, it'll get rid of all those, leaving the one that was unchecked. Now when I process, I'm only processing this one formula or formula version to replace this raw material with this raw material. The whole idea here was to give more control over selection of which formulas get affected by the mass component maintenance. If you have any questions about this new functionality, or for that matter, have any questions about the mass component maintenance in general, don't hesitate to reach out to us and we'll be happy to go over it with you. All right, thanks a lot and have a great day.